Hello everyone, I'm CZ Lumen and this is StarCraft 2. What I have for you today is a diamond match between two individuals on Dragon Scales LE. Jeffestive playing as the Terran pieces in the top right or top left hand corner of the screen, with BJHO on the bottom left hand playing as the Zerg pieces. From here on out, when I call out a comparison number such as 14 out of 15 workers, that's going to be showing the Zerg as the first number with Terran as the second. And that just helps me be able to differentiate who's in the lead, who's behind, and what the comparisons are going up against. Zerg player opting for a very usual speed hatchery before the spawning pool. This is a very common thing that I've noticed in games that's been happening more and more frequently. Sometimes I see a little bit of deviation. Terran deciding to go with a wall off from the top instead of... What? Terran, I don't know if this was a mixed click or not, but Terran has set their rallying point to the Zerg player. Okay, he paid attention. I just wanted to see if that SCV was actually going to do what? I thought he was going to actually run across the map with that and see what's going on. But we do have one SCV that has scouted the second hatchery by the Zerg player. Very standard opener for both sides. A command center is being built at the natural. We're going to find out if he's going to start walling that off or not. We have a Reaper that's going to be playing a little bit of defense tag against these Zerglings here. It does a good job cleaning that up. Two Zerglings do go down. Reaper deciding to shake his hands and head over to the other side of the map. An Overlord is speeding across the map as fast as he can go, with a third hatchery coming up for the Zerg player. Queen's shooing away that Reaper before the Reaper can do any kind of scouting or damage. This is a rather fast third hatchery. 3 minutes and 40 seconds in, and this hatchery is almost halfway done, but 29-27 workers with a pretty equal... Is that about an equal economy? Terran is mining more gas than Zerg. Zerg really pumping it in as much as he can into the mineral lines. Yeah, one gas for the Zerg right now. Another gas is coming up. Terran already working on both gases. Or two gases out of four, I should say. So, I'm not sure who wins this, but I just know that this is a Diamond League matchup, and I think I have the audio set up now properly. This is... I think I got the music going on. If you can hear it just fine, as long as my voice... Still trying to work out the technical kinks out of this. I got a new headset, so I'm trying to get this working pretty well. Hellions coming in for a quick attack here. See how many drones that they can knock down. So far, 8 drones total. This is pretty good. Here we have... this is not what you want as the Zerg player, to just have a bunch of Hellions just sit in the back. Missed opportunity to basically flamethrower more drones, but goes down by the Zerglings. Zerglings running across the map to play a little bit of counterplay. Supply depots were down for a second. There was a split second there where the Zerglings could have ran in, but that was one missed opportunity. Lots of Zerglings attacking the Hellions here, or the orbital command. Might want to raise that before it starts getting red. Hellions trying to shoo away those Zerglings, but are they going to get a surround and knock those Hellions out? This is not looking good for the Terran player. A third command center is up. New Hellions do come out to try to nuke these Zerglings, or Speedlings I should say, down. Not the wisest choice to bring your orbital command down and then get the Zerglings to attack it. If this command center goes down, that's going to be embarrassing. Nope. It is saved, repaired by the SCVs. Well played by the Terran player. Base count is 3-2, although there is a command center on auxiliary heading over to the third natural expansion. 1-1-1 for the Terran player. Banshees are coming up. Factory is doing nothing. I thought it was actually building something, but it is not. So we have cloaking for the Banshees being built with another Banshee So it looks like this is going to be a mech army with 2 factories behind this. Lots of mules. Really ripping apart that mineral line. Really bringing in that economic advantage. 47 to 40. And soon we're going to have 3... We have 3 saturated bases for the Zerg player. Oh no, 2? 3, yep. 3 fully saturated bases for the Zerg player against 2 for the Terran. Dealing with these little bit of run-bys and banglings, which, hey, you went out with a bang there. Banshees now on patrol. Guys, you guys are sleeping on the job. That one Zergling taking out that poor SCV. All he was trying to do is bring home the gas. But that was cleaned up just fine. 20 to 9 army supply in comparison. 50 workers to 41. And the 3rd command center is trying to build up SCVs as quickly as possible. Oversaturated main command center for the Terran player. And now we have preemptive spore crawlers in the Zerg mineral lines, which is definitely a smart move. One queen trying to fight off these banshees, doing a pretty good little bit of job here. But unless the Zerg decides to actually fight against this, I don't know if that was the best thing you could have done, spore crawler. But hey, you know, that's fine. What is this? 2 evolution chambers coming up for the Zerg, offering some kind of wall in. 4th base for the Zerg coming up to try and outproduce the Terran player. Okay, Hydralisks are coming up here. I was wondering, it's like once you see air units, you pretty much need to have Hydralisk or Mutalisk or something. Hydralisks are getting pumped out here, so this good counter for air Terran. If there's no detection here, this is going to be a problem because these guys can go cloak, but they decide not to. Cloaking is for sissies. And nope, here we go. Getting cloaked here and fighting back, the Zerg decide to run away. I would too. I mean, if I had an invisible something attacking me, that's probably wise to go to run away. We have a lair, and we can have an Observer Lord. So, it's always a mystery. Here we go. It's always a mystery to me, like where my Overlords go when I'm playing as Zerg, because I'll just throw them to like one side or the other, and then I'll be looking for them, trying to find Overlords, and it's hard to find them. I wish there was like this unit tab in the upper left-hand corner where I could just like grab a hold of an Overlord or something, and you know. Command center upgrade being completed. 4th command center for the Terran player building up. We no longer needing a barracks. Use it as a scout. This Terran player decides to bring the 1 barracks. Apparently the only use that he can find for it is to use it as a hovering scout, which, I mean, it's got 1,000 hit points. That is a bullet sponge right there. So props to you, right? Why not? Oh, here we go. Overlord getting spotted, and I don't know if it's gonna make it much longer. Yep. Poor Overlord. All he was doing was hanging out. Was it really bothering you to destroy the Overlord? We do have a Zerg army over here, getting ready to attack. Observer Lords and Hydralisk and Speedlings are grouped up here. No roaches, which might be called for. Roaches are able to really soak up that, like, they are considered heavily armored, so they take less damage than normal. But it looks like this Zerg believed that it was going to be more of an air army versus. I love the Overlord. Look at this. Overseers have got to be one of the most frustrating units in the entire game of StarCraft, because like you attack, move, and they run away, and then you're sitting here trying to deal with problems, and of course they're up here. Look at how you see how dumb this is. You see this dumb? Look at how stupid they are. I thought these guys were supposed to be smart. These guys are supposed to be controlling the Zerg army, and this is what they do. Cowards. Anyway, Zerglings get wrapped up here as they try to attack more of the mechanical Terran, which is just cranking out more and more. What do we got here? Cyclones. Is that the name of the game? It's just going to be Cyclones and Hellions for the Terran player. So this is fun. Hopefully I'm sure if I zoom over to the Zerg base, we're going to see a heavy counter to a mechanized army. Mechanized army counter. 37 to 53 army supply. Where is your forces? Here we go. Here we go. We have the mechanized army, or the mech army counter right here. Lots of banelings and speedlings. That's that'll be just fine. Against a lot of Hellions and Cyclones. I want you to get ready. Cyclones and Hellions about to move up the ramp. They do not see their imminent demise against this superior force here. 51 to 69. A nice army supply. What else is coming out here? What else is on the production tab? Is that it? Is Zerg just building up 66 to 51 workers? So probably hoping that this attack was not going to happen anytime soon. This Zergling, or this Zerg player, might be in for a little bit of a rude awakening. Okay, we're going to see what the Zerg player is paying attention to in 3, 2, 1. Infestor Pit coming up to help advance the Zerg tech. Okay, here we go, here we go. It's always interesting to see like what the eyes are here. So Baneling's running away, rightfully so, against all these Hellions. Will they catch up? On creep they will, but off creep they don't. That is kind of a disadvantage of not having creep here. By the way, if you know or have an idea of what creep tastes like, I'm having a little bit of a poll. I want to know if, do you think it would taste like pork? Like, you think, because I mean, if you're going to feed an entire army, you know, I wouldn't want it to taste like kale. Yeah, I mean, this is like, the Zerg obviously love it because they run faster on it, so that means that it's got to taste like something delicious. And I would imagine bacon, just like strings of bacon that you can just rip up off the ground and then consume it. Looks like Zerg was able to fend that off pretty well. Nope, surprise! That Terran is back playing peekaboo, doing a little bit of a tag team and moving that away here. Zerg is doing a fantastic job actually knocking this out with nothing but Zerglings. I am very surprised. When I was saying that this was a counter to the mechanized army, I was being sarcastic and I was wrong. This is definitely not what's expected. We have a Thor coming on here. We're going to see, is that Thor going to go down? The Banglings coming in, knocking out a whole bunch of workers for the Terran. Thor does manage to stay up. I'm going to go ahead and get out of this. Wow, what a fight. Hold on, we got to back up this. Okay, what's happening here? I'm going to back up a little bit more. What do we got? Okay, we have a Zerg army here full of Banglings, Zerglings, and Hydralisks. We're going to battle breakdown. Just a minute here. All right. Cyclones and Hellions with a Raven, very useful. Keeping the Zerg occupied in this territory. Anytime the Zerg move, these guys come in and get the Zerg's attention. And this is great for stressing out your opponent and keeping them on the defensive, because this means that instead of attacking you, they have to pay attention to one of their flanks. This lets you build up, generally, undisturbed. We have 59 to 57 workers at the moment, 68 to 73 army supply. So this is going to be one-sided with Thors are going to be marching out of here. Just a second. Where's that Thor being built? Way over here. Okay. Let's battle breakdown and see what happens here. I'm going to slow down the game. So this is going to be a little bit slower than playing. Now we just saw the Zerg and what they were paying attention to. Zoomed in up here, paying attention. We have Zerglings heading up to this upper base to perform a counterattack. What is going on here? We have supply depots. All right. And here it is, playing tag. The Terran forces come in, get the Zerg's attention, and basically piss them off, piss off a Hornet's Nest as much as possible. And again, this stresses out the opponent and causes them to attack you. Mechanized units running away. Now here we see just a slight problem. Actually, it's not bad. Zerg up here are blocking off the Terran's ability to run away in this formation, but we see the Terran actually just doing a complete 180-degree run away from the Zerg here. So it's about to get flanked, but it looks like those forces are going to get matched up. There's not... So if the Zerg had come over here and basically blocked that off, that would have been a great surround. But because it just came around here and they were able to run away, that allowed the Terran to at least delay their inevitable death as long as possible. Lots of Zerglings coming around here, doing what I'm guessing is just an attack move to try to do as much damage as they can as they catch up whenever possible. Zerg attacking in 2 different directions, which is a smart move. This causes chaos, and now the Terran have to figure out what exactly they're going to do, and they're so busy trying to micromanage all this other stuff. All of these SCVs go down thanks to banging. Smart play by the Zerg player here to do as much damage as possible. Workers changing in favor of the Zerg, 54 to 60 or 48, 54 army to 41. Terran takes some pretty good losses here and an economic setback. Good game so far. This is really good. Anything else happening here? Nope. I'm going to speed forward just a little bit as both sides decide to take a breather and build up. We're going to find out what exactly they want to do to counter one another. And now that Zerg is aware that there are Thors on the table, deciding to go hard into the Hydralisk army. Is that all you're going to build? I mean, I'm not complaining. I think Hydralisks are awesome, so that's just fine. I would imagine roaches would be good here, but that's because they're just a little bit better armored, and you can also burrow them in order to regenerate health, which can be helpful. And as well as anytime you can get the Terran to spend money on a scan that's not really needed, you're denying them other options. So there's no scanning resources available. I don't see another Raven to be able to be a detector unit. But if you have if you go up here and then burrow a single unit and then force the Terran to scan, you've just cost the Terran 240 resources in a mule mining time, or 100 resources in having to build another supply depot instead of putting a hat here. So here we go. We have a scan going on, which a good scan going on to see what exactly is happening here. This is the focus point of the Terran player to try to knock out this mining base as much as possible. I believe this is an unintentional split between the mechanized forces here, as Thors are really slow. One coming up here, one coming in the south. Where are the army value is 76 to 95. Where is the Zerg army? Here they are. So Zerg army consists of lots of Zerglings, lots of Hydralisks. Coming in to meet their attack here, we have a good wall of Hellions that's going to offer a lot of line damage with their attacks. Always want to keep those Cyclones in the back here. Thors are pretty meaty, so this is not sure if this is exactly what you want. Zerglings should be going in for any kind of surround or any kind of wraparound, avoiding those Hellions as much as possible. Let the Hydralisks attack those Hellions, and let the Cyclones and everybody else attack, and waste their higher damage output against the Zerglings. So here we have that line of damage that's constantly going on, and these Zerglings go down very quickly without really putting up much of a fight. Cyclones and Thors do fire upon the Zerglings, but that Zergling army is getting decimated, and not much of a distraction for very long. We have Hydralisks now fighting on 2 fronts here, having a hard time getting attacks in. They're getting surrounded, and what that does is it causes the Hydralisks to both have to divert firepower toward one direction in a line and in another direction, but trickled or reduced because there's no line here of attack to be able to fight off against this. So now we have this nice concave concentration of firepower that's going on in this flanking maneuver, and it's going to really help in the Terran's favor. Just buckle that fight. Yep, here it is. There it goes. Now I don't know if the Zerglings or the Hydralisks could have surrounded or have a better fight. We saw in one game where Stalkers basically forced a Roach army that outnumbered them through a small trickle, through a small area, and it allowed the Stalkers to completely decimate a superior force. This was definitely a bad tactical situation for the Zerg to try to manage. And now we have just a bunch of Thors being able to just go to town here. 43 to 78 armor supply, 69 to 64 worker supply. Zerg is now on the backbone trying to recover from this. What kind of counter will the Zerg do? Zerg do have +2 melee, +2 range, +1 carapace. Terran is going in for the +1/+1 for mechs. Here we have Hydralisk coming into the fight, somewhat trickling in, but getting as much damage as they can. They are outgunned in this fight. This is not an easy thing to repel, so that wasn't bad. I mean, that's doing the best with what you have. More forces are coming in pretty quickly here. Zerglings coming in. Terran again. So we have Thors able to just sow as much mayhem as possible with a Banshee, doing whatever they please and attacking as much as possible. Yeah, it seems like those Zerglings are just doing a lot of damage when they actually connect and attack the Thors here. It looks like the Thors are going to knock these out. Yep. Wow, that was impressive. I somewhat didn't expect the Zerglings to be able to knock out those Thors. 3 bases in total go down. Zerg is getting pushed back. They have a 4th base over here to try and put those drones back into the work, but those drones are going to lead these Banshees over to the secret base. That secret base is recognized. That base is no longer a secret. Spore Crawler trying to come up as fast as possible, but I don't think it's going to make it. It does not make it. Hellions coming in and going to make short work of what drones are left. Spore Crawler being very confused about where it goes. It's showing us a little dance of its people. Let's see. Let's take a look at this dance here. Back and forth, back and forth. that was rough. That Spore Crawler did not want anything to did not want to work that day. That was calling in sick right there is what that Spore Crawler should have did. Thor is coming in here, getting ready to wrap up whatever forces that necessary. The Zerg player here had a rough fight overall, being reduced to just a few mineral lines. Good call on the GG. There was not once Zerg fell back or fell behind here, there was just not much you can do. Now these supply depots do serve a purpose when they're checkerboarded like this a little bit, and what that does is it causes the Zerg to come in a trickling manner, and it allows you to create basically concave area lines of attack, which definitely help out. GG, good game, definitely. Great match between these two players, and I hope you have a good day. I hope you had fun watching this.